competition authorities elsewhere in the world work. In 2008, there was a global financial crisis, and there was a big private bank in the UK. The name is Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS. They went bankrupt. Okay? As part of resolving the crisis, the government decided to do a temporary nationalization of RBS. Okay, note, because UK public policy works a wee bit better than India, at every step of the story, they were crystal clear that this is a temporary nationalization. It's not like in India where nationalization is largely irreversible. Once a government gets a company, it never comes out. Whereas here it was very clear that this is a temporary nationalization. We have a crisis, we will take it briefly, and we'll sell it at a profit. And for the rest, we are not here to own this. Now, their laws and institutions are so constructed that this transaction had to be cleared by the competition authority, who's called the OFT, the Office for Fair Trading. Okay, so now think, October 2008, global crisis, okay? A very, very frightening moment. The fate of capitalism is at stake, all sorts of pressure, media rhetoric, television channels are screaming and so on. The UK OFT said, no, I will not allow this purchase. Okay, so why? The OFT said that RBS has more than 10% market share in banking. Okay, so RBS was a fairly big bank, had more than 10% market share in banking. They said that in banking, if there is one large bank, more than 10% market share, who is owned by the government, that's a non-level playing field, because from the household's point of view, you may feel safer putting your money in a government-owned bank compared to putting your money in a private bank. So the introduction of one PSU bank with more than 10% market share is antithetic to the goal of competition, so we will not allow it. Okay? So OFT said, we will block this transaction, and they had the legal authority to do so. So there was a frantic negotiation. The OFT said, I don't care about your banking crisis, let RBS burn, my dharma is competition. To have even one PSU bank, which has more than 10% market share, is antithetic to competition. Finally, the bargain that was haggled out between the Treasury and the OFT was that some 700, or I don't remember the exact number, some hundreds of bank branches had to be sold by RBS after the government took it over, so as to push down the market share of RBS. Okay, so this is the way in which competition philosophy, competition thinking goes to the heart of public policy, and this is the way we should work. Already the question of global procurement was brought in. I just want to say this somewhat differently. Okay, you are in a department. Your mandate is to build bridges. Okay, so your objective should be maximum bang for the buck. You want to use your expenditure, you want to use your budgetary resource to build as many bridges as possible. So you want to get more bang for the buck. Now, if some foreign guy will sell you steel at a lower price, you should take that. Your dharma in a department that builds bridges should be to buy the lowest cost goods and services to produce public goods for the people of India. Okay, that's what it should be. That no other objective should be pursued by the man building bridges. Okay, that's what government should be. Okay, that is not what we do in government today. Okay, so that is not what we do in India today. That is an example of how our public administration structures are really faulty, but that is how government should be thinking. If you are in a Ministry of Health, your dharma is to get more vaccination done and to get better enforcement against communicable disease epidemics. It should be bang for the buck. You have some resourcing, how do you get more done? It shouldn't be that I want to protect domestic capitalists or whatever. So this is not about commercial, this is about bang for the buck. If you are going to build bridges, you will take budgetary resources and deliver more outcomes. If you are in health, you will take budgetary resources and deliver more vaccinations. It is about output, this is about productivity, this is about efficiency of the government. So I wish to say that I'm very glad you brought this up. These are the kind of confusions that bedevil the Indian state today. And what all of us have to do is get far more clarity. There is a principal-agent relationship between the people and the government, and within government, between the overall budget-making process and each agency of the government. Each agency of the government should be accountable. So I would question that. I would question that. The objective of government is to address market failures, and the working of agencies of government should be to get bang for the buck. Okay, if you are running a immunization program in Ministry of Health, your job is to take 1,000 crore rupees and get more kids vaccinated. It should not be, you have no other objectives. Performance is measurable. Performance is how many vaccinations did you give out. Then there can be no other extraneous objectives. Others, you're just dodging accountability. To produce a high performance government, we have to have concepts of accountability, which is that an agency is given some resources, it delivers results, and it delivers maximal bang for the buck. Where year after year, you get more bang for the buck. We in India have a malfunctioning state because we do not have these concepts. We have all sorts of fuzzy objectives and nobody is accountable. When you say accountability, you will get bang for the buck. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Can I dodge that question? That's a question of trade policy. Okay. So anti-dumping is an interesting and important discussion, but that's not central to this. I'm on a somewhat different point that, I'm the guy given 1,000 crore to do vaccinations. I should be procuring all goods and services to get the maximum number of children in India vaccinated within my budget constraint. That is productivity, that is efficiency. For example, gentleman here who's on his phone said that when Deity said that you have to have 30% local procurement of laptops, that basically diminished the performance of procurement for all government departments who had to buy costlier or lesser quality laptops because of trying to pursue a different objective. Whereas our thinking should always be that the spending arm of every piece of government is oriented towards delivering performance, delivering bang for the buck. We must buy the lowest cost goods and services so as to get the maximum output in production of public goods. Yes?
Yeah, bang for the buck.
Yes.
As on date, I think it has undergone a change in concept.
Okay.
Not output. What we are looking for is outcome.
Yes, I agree. So for example, I'm saying kids vaccinated is the outcome and not output.
How many kids are protected from diseases?
Yes, I agree. That the vaccine was not faulty in the food chain. Okay, so I am out of time, and if I may summarize, I have said three things. The first, that competition is of first order importance in our theory of state. Why do we have a state? To address market failures. 1 out of 4 market failures is market power. Point 2, there is a fundamental tension between our traditional notions of stability and Schumpeterian creative destruction. We should revere creative destruction. It is out of the disruption of existing industries and technologies that we will get dynamism. And proposition 3, government policy is an important part of the problem, and we should be rethinking a lot of the things that we do from this point of view. Thank you.